Welcome back to the dungeon, where chaos has a cookbook. Imagine being trapped in a deadly reality TV-style dungeon where monsters want to eat you, the audience wants to be entertained, and the rules change every time you think you've figured them out. Now imagine someone handing you a cookbook, not for food, for anarchy. Welcome to the Dungeon Anarchist's Cookbook, Book 3 of Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinniman, where survival isn't just about strength anymore, it's about breaking the system from the inside. Let's dive in. Where we are in the story. At this point in the series, Carl and his foul-mouthed, crown-wearing cat, Princess Donut, are no longer clueless contestants. They're veterans of the dungeon, battle-hardened, traumatized, and very aware that the dungeon isn't just a game, it's a machine. A machine built for ratings, profit, and suffering. And in Book 3, Carl finally gets something dangerous: knowledge. The Dungeon Anarchist's Cookbook. The heart of this book, literally and figuratively, is the mysterious Dungeon Anarchist's Cookbook. This isn't a recipe book. It's more like a handwritten survival guide passed down by crawlers who came before. People who realized the dungeon could be exploited, hacked, and even broken. Think of it like finding cheat codes in a game that punishes curiosity with death. The cookbook teaches Carl how to bend dungeon mechanics, weaponize loopholes, use the system's greed against itself. But every trick comes at a cost. Carl levels up mentally. One of the biggest shifts in this book is Carl's mindset. Earlier, Carl survived by reacting. Now he plans. He starts thinking like a rebel instead of a contestant. Every trap becomes a puzzle, every rule becomes suspicious, and every dungeon gift is examined for the hidden knife taped underneath. Carl begins to realize something terrifying. The dungeon isn't all-powerful. It just pretends to be. Princess Donut, still fabulous, still deadly. Let's talk about Princess Donut because she continues to steal every scene. She's still dramatic, still obsessed with status, still somehow adorable. But she's also changing. Donut becomes more than comic relief. She's strategic, emotionally intelligent, and surprisingly ruthless when needed. Her growth mirrors Carl's, but through ego, fame, and manipulation instead of brute resistance. Together, Carl and Donut are no longer just surviving, they're becoming dangerous. The dungeon gets meaner and smarter. As Carl learns more tricks, the dungeon responds. Enemies become more complex, challenges become less fair, and punishments become more personal. The dungeon isn't just a setting, it's a character, and it does not like being outsmarted. There's a constant feeling that the dungeon is watching Carl more closely now, like a casino keeping an eye on a card counter who's winning a little too often. Other crawlers, other tragedies. Book 3 expands the world by giving us deeper looks at other crawlers. Some are allies, some are competitors, some are already broken. Each one represents a different response to trauma: rage, despair, blind obedience, or total emotional shutdown. These moments remind us that Carl's struggle isn't unique and that survival alone doesn't mean you're winning. Power has a price. The cookbook gives Carl tools, but it also pushes him toward darker choices. He has to ask, how far is too far? Is breaking the system worth becoming a monster? And if freedom requires sacrifice, who pays the bill? This book doesn't give easy answers. Instead, it forces Carl and us to sit with the discomfort. Dark comedy meets real pain. Matt Dinniman continues to balance laugh-out-loud humor with brutal emotional hits. One moment you're laughing at an absurd dungeon announcement, the next you're realizing how deeply unfair this world is and how closely it mirrors systems in our own reality that profit from suffering while calling it entertainment. That contrast is what makes this book powerful. By the end, the point of no return. By the end of the Dungeon Anarchist's Cookbook, Carl can't go back. He's crossed a line from player to problem. The dungeon still controls the board, but now it knows Carl is actively trying to flip the table, and that changes everything moving forward. Wrap up. What this book is really about. At its core, this book isn't just about monsters and explosions. It's about fighting unfair systems, learning when rules exist to be broken, and holding on to your humanity when survival demands cruelty. It asks a simple but dangerous question. What would you do if the game was rigged and quitting wasn't an option? This summary only scratches the surface. If you enjoy sharp humor, smart world building, emotional depth, and characters who grow in messy, believable ways, the Dungeon Anarchist's Cookbook is absolutely worth your time. You can find the full book on Amazon, especially the audiobook version, which brings the story to life beautifully. And if you're enjoying these daily summary audiobooks, stay close. We're here every day to help you understand what a book is really about, so you don't waste your money before knowing if it's right for you. Until next time, keep crawling.